Okay, so we're going to be talking tonight about the Deluxe game edition here. It says Deluxe right down here on the bottom. But just to recap, I'm Andy Logan, creator of the Shivers, and this is one of our, maybe our second live stream we've done about the details of the game as it unfolds and goes through development. Last week we did a live stream on the core game, which you'll see behind me here, and we went through all the cool things about that. We went through especially all the 6 pop-up rooms that come with the core game. So the parlor you see out in the front here, the kitchen you see here, the library, the study in the back, again the parlor, and the courtyard and the laboratory. We went through all those in detail, and it was really cool because we got to share all the aspects of each pop-up room. So here's the basement. On the back you'll see it says the bleak basement. There's the clue windows for that episode set properly, and on this side of course we have all the great pop-up amazingness that's held in by a kickstand here, and these all collapse totally flat and pop up again. And then you insert the kickstand to keep it all nice and vertical. And we talked about the story cards, how these are completely interchangeable to make a new adventure each time, a new episode. And when you do that, all the clues on the back change as well. So we talked about the core game rooms, which was a lot of fun. We talked about all the cool standee artwork we've been doing. This is just about a quarter of the standees that come in the core game. There's lots of them, lots of creatures and NPCs and characters to play. So that was all in the core game. And we talked about the dice you'll be getting, the 3 different colors for the kind of easy, medium, and hard actions that are all kind of differently worded. And we talked about some of the manuals you'll be getting, the instruction manual, the lore booklet, and the Storyteller's Companion. And especially one of the things I love most about the lore booklet is this back section here with all the backers' names on many, many pages. And we call that one Residents of Fogmore Cove. So you are, if you're in here, you are a town resident, like in the phone book. So super excited about that, and for you to find your name within the lore booklet here. But I digress. That was all the core game. This night we're going to talk about the Deluxe game. So the Deluxe game is right here, and it has everything that we just talked about in the core game, but it's got a few extra items. And those are what we're going to talk about tonight, is the extra things that the Deluxe game doesn't have. So again, it's the same size 12 by 12 by 3 inch box. You'll notice the Deluxe game says Deluxe game right here, first edition. And it's got a couple additional players here. Our Shivers family in the front, you'll notice there's a cat and a dog, because those 2 characters are available on the Deluxe game only as playable characters. On the back side, here on the side we have the Shivers logo. It's this great Victorian wallpaper theme we have. And on the back, welcome to the spooky world of the Shivers. And we're going to be, we're going to take new photos of our new mock-ups and replace this photo for the back cover. It's got all the contents, all the barcode and legal stuff we have to add. So that's going to be the Deluxe box, featuring the amazing art of our illustrator Bill Tiller. So we think that'll look great on your shelves, as much as the pop-ups look great on your table. So what's inside the Deluxe game besides those things we talked about in the core game already? Well, the main 2 things are the 2 expansions. Each has their own box. So expansion 1 over here, called Fangs, written by Darcy Coates, a great Gothic fiction writer from Australia. And over to you, we have the Shivers expansion 2. It's all fun and games until you know the saying. And that is featuring a host of different writers, myself included, and Matt Fantastic and Jared Sorensen teamed up to make this expansion here. That's primarily what we're going to be talking tonight about. Put the box here. Let's go over expansion number 1. It comes, for those of you who are of a certain age, you'll remember CD cases. CDs used to come in these long boxes like this, and this was kind of the inspiration for this box. It's a great form factor that contains all the things you need for expansion number 1. Gives you a brief synopsis of it, all the characters and contents you get. So this will have 4 new episodes for about 5+ hours of additional gameplay for that expansion. A new room, new standees, new stories, everything. So let's crack this open and see what's inside. Okay. First to note is the new pop-up room that comes with this expansion. And this is the Cryptic Crypt. And I'm going to insert the kickstand here. There we go. So this is a neat little crypt that lives underground sometimes within the manor. And it's one of our creepier pop-ups we have. And the story card for it is going to insert just like this. Boop. And now that's set for one of the episodes for the series, what we call Series C. The core game had Series A and B, and this expansion has Series C in it. So a whole new set of story cards to put in all your rooms. You can see all the illustrations that are on there for different settings. And on the back side, all the different episode clue settings. The green is always the first one, so this is episode C1, The Lost Crypt. So you have to find the crypt first in your adventure. And Darcy wrote a great story for the C series, this expansion. It's really kind of one continuous narrative thread that takes you through all 4 episodes. It's really exciting. So here we have this large coffin in the middle that opens up. We have this kind of cool parquet floor. We have a smaller coffin here on the side that also opens. There, what's inside there? There's something inside. It's like some bones piled up. There's an altar in the back. There's a manuscript on it. There's stained glass windows up top. There's a pedestal over here. So you can kind of see what parts move. I'll show you. You can kind of see all the story card windows there. And that stained glass is really special. I think you'll discover if you look closely some interesting symbols in the windows that will come into play later. But look how gorgeously that is illustrated and rendered, and it looks like it's just glowing with light because of how Bill did the illustrations combined with Renee Jablow's amazing paper engineering. So we think you're going to really love playing in the Cryptic Crypt in Expansion 2. As I talked about, it's got all the story cards needed for all the rooms for these expansions. So 2 parlor ones and a whole set of ones for all the other rooms. For 4 episodes, it's got 4 episode guides. So here's the 4 episode guides that would come with this expansion. And let's look at the first one, The Lost Crypt. And they open like this. And this tells you everything you need to know to run the game. So what rooms you need, what characters, the summary of the episode, how to introduce it. And you flip it over and you see all the characters involved, all the dialogue and notes and books that are read. the end game section, and along the bottom we have our steps that you have to go through to solve the puzzle. And each step has a hint to help you advance towards the next step. It's something we didn't talk about in the last episode, but if you see on the timeline, there's these little orange symbols here, a little exclamation point. That's something we added in the game that's really cool. It's called a complication, where if you'd like to add a little more complexity, a little more time to your game, you just consult this complication chart that's in the Storyteller's Companion. And look at that. See that symbol right there? There it is again. There's 10 different complications here that add more drama to the game. For instance, a pack rat. A pack rat comes and steals some of your inventory items and scatters them throughout the house, and you have to go find them again. And it tells you how to resolve each one. So we have points identified where you could insert complications that are really cool. That's just something we developed during the course of testing the game and wanting to kind of add more ability to do really cool storytelling. Okay, so we got the Cryptic Crypt. What else do we have? We have a whole set of new standees. So these are punch-out standee boards of all the NPCs you're going to be encountering in the game from various illustrators. I think there's one on here even I illustrated. I'll let you figure out which one that is. Or was it two? I think it's one. So these are all punch-out standees, similar to all our other standees. Alright, so that was expansion number 1, called Fangs, which is going to be a great first expansion for people who complete all the core game episodes. Alright, number 2, expansion number 2 is It's All Fun and Games Until Someone Gets Hurt, perhaps? Look at this Queen of Hearts here, she comes into play. Same CD case kind of shaped box that fits within the main game box, so you can keep stacking expansions up and they'll fit inside the box. We've got a summary. Let's read the summary here. A few ghostly former residents of Fogmore Manor pull the Shivers in for some light-hearted games, but the fun quickly turns diabolical as the family becomes trapped at the mercy of a devious child. Pretty cool. This has some of our hardest episodes to complete, as well as some of our most kind of mind-bending ones, so I think you'll really like it. Let's open it up. What could be inside? Let's look at the room first. The Naughty Nursery. Here's the pop-up you all love. Whoop! Look at that bed popping out there in a little dollhouse. Put the kickstand in. Okay. And I'm going to find its story card and insert that inside. Let's see, which one is the story card for that? The last thing I pull out, of course. Here's the story card for all 4 episodes of expansion number 2. So that will just slide in like this. Boop. Now it's set for, in this case, episode D2, The Consultants, which was written by Jared Sorensen. And look at this amazing room. We've got a tiny, look at that dollhouse. There's something curious about it you might notice. Besides the fact that it's a little leaning right now, and we have to fix that in the pop-up before we move into production. So there's something about it though that might look familiar. It's got a little wardrobe that opens. Hey, there's a teddy bear. and a lot of other windows that change when you slide in and out. Here's the Naughty Nursery. What else does it have in the box? Let's see. We've got all the story cards needed for 4 episodes, so that there's actually 4 parlor story cards in this one, because we're introducing some new dynamics in these later expansions where you actually swap story cards mid-episode to change what happens in that room in that episode. So the story cards kind of evolve as you go through the episode, which is really cool. So we've got 4 episodes worth of story cards for, again, like 5 or 6 hours of gameplay. We've got all the 4 episode guides needed for the 4 adventures. So let's look at the first one here. It would be the green one. Green's always first. Shall we play a game? Some of you might know where that's from. And again, all the information you need to run that episode and set it up. So we have 4 of those. And then we have 2 sets of standee boards for all the adventures. So there's some really cool characters here, and cards and reference items. So that is everything for expansion number 2. Okay, so those are the 2 main things in the Deluxe game, the 2 expansions. Let's look at some other items that come with it. As you know, on the box front there was an exclusive character pack, so you get this dog and cat character pack. So you can actually play as Shep the dog or Ocean the cat. And for scale, they're sized appropriately compared to the playable other characters. So these are just punch-out standees, and then here's the dashboards for Shep and Ocean. Shep's abilities are senses danger. He has a general awareness of nearby foes or traps, and strong bite can be used on minor foes. Now, he can only carry 1 item, which is his mouth. So your inventory is going to be a little light. He doesn't have thumbs, of course, so he can't carry things very well. He doesn't know how to read, so he can't really read notes. So I'm going to enjoy seeing how you employ Shep in your gameplay. Similarly, Ocean is even tinier. She can only carry 1 item. And her abilities is stalking. She can chase down and catch small scurrying pests, and leaping. She can jump to great heights. Her fears are big dogs. How's that going to work with Shep? And cucumbers, and bananas, and umbrellas, and ghosts. So quite a fearful little feline. Shep's fears were loud noises, thunder, and lightning. So we'll see how that comes into play. So that is the bonus character pack, available only on the Deluxe game. Let's see what else we have in here. We have, oh, this is really cool, the Create a Character pack. So there's going to be blank standees here where you could draw your own character and play as your own character you make up. And there's also blank story cards here. I'm sorry, character dashboards here. So you can write your own character backstory with your own illustrations and their fears and hopes and desires and abilities, and play as your own unique resident of Fogmore Cove. So that is the Create a Character pack that comes in the Deluxe game. And I believe it's also an add-on on the store. One other thing we have is the velvet pouch with the embroidered Shivers logo. This sample came back a little small, so we want a bigger pouch with more color in it, and so this one didn't quite meet our hopes and dreams for the velvet bag, so we're going with a little bit bigger one that has a little more fanciness to it. And then, last but not least, the shipping craziness around the world caused us to reevaluate the funds we needed to actually get this game across the ocean. So we, in the summer, launched the Storycrafters Pack to help us generate a bit more revenue and also give you some amazing new ways to play the Shivers. So let me open this for you. One of the most interesting things is we created ghost versions of all the characters. So these are standees of all the main playable characters. The ghosts version of Riley and Rashida and Brighton and Autumn, Frankie, even the dog and cat and Elijah. And we also included a ghost who you might be familiar with, kind of an homage to a semi-famous ghost out there. So these are standees you can punch. We also did a giant blow-up version of the map that's in the lore booklet. Here it is. So this is a frameable, poster-size, 22-inch long map of Fogmore Cove with all the cool places annotated in this legend down here. Hand-drawn by Bill Tiller. So you'll see it there. This is where all the adventures are happening in Shivers World. This is the manor is over here. And the Shivers house is over here. So I think you're going to enjoy that. And then last but not least in that pack, we have a blank pop-up room. Look at this. It has the same magnetic base as all the other pop-ups and the same operation with where a kickstand goes in and props it up. And what you can do with this is create your own pop-up rooms for your own adventures. So we are going to be having a tutorial from Renee, our paper engineer, demonstrating how to convert this blank room into something very cool that you can create your own adventures with. So all part of the Storycrafters Pack. Okay, so those are all the interesting things that are coming with the Deluxe game, except the Storycrafters Pack. That's a separate add-on if you bought that. Thank you for sharing the evening with me and learning more about what's in the core game and especially the Deluxe game. The Shivers as a status